Hey, what's up guys? Nick the Informative Fisherman here on behalf of Headbanger Lures. Now, if you guys haven't heard of the rocker head swing head jig, you've probably been living under a rock. Well, Headbanger was wanting to create plastics to pair up with their headbangers, and just like in classic headbanger fashion, they weren't about to take any shortcuts, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's going to be a basic plastic. Yeah, right. They ended up creating 3 new types of plastics to put on this rocker head that could be used for any style of plastic application out there. We have the new BangerBug right there, the Headbanger Bug, which is really cool. You could drag this thing deadly slow. It's got a ton of action. I'll show you all that. We got the BangerCraw, which makes a great jig trailer, a football jig setup. Putting that on the back of any of your jigs is going to be murder. Then you have the BangerLizard, a great Carolina rig option. You can also drag that on a football head jig. You can rig that on the back of a jig. You can drop shot these things, whatever you want to do. But that wasn't the basis to this. The basis to this plastic was to be paired up on the rocker head, okay? I just found out how great they were and started using them for everything. But at Headbanger Lures, you can now get these plastics. They're very soft. What you're gonna notice on every one of these plastics is there's great little kicking appendages. Even the antennae on there has a little kicking appendage. So even at the slowest speed, if you were gonna drag that rocker head on the bottom, you're gonna get movement here, here, and here, everywhere on one of these baits. Even the crawdad has much bigger kicking appendages, which makes it even a more phenomenal trailer. If you're looking for a little bit more added movement, a little bit of a harder kick in dirtier water, you can reel that rocker head and it's still gonna thump with that crawdad on there. Give it a little bit more placement in the water, showing a bigger profile, and then you can go subtle. The Lizard has slightly smaller appendages on there if you're looking for that more subtle approach. Really cool thing that you're gonna see in the back of the plastic right here, you can see that the hook actually slides right into the back of these plastics. There's a recess on the back of these guys that really hides that hook point quite nice. Now, typically, if you're running like a plastic on the back of a chatterbait or a swing head jig, a lot of the guys like to just leave that hook out and against the skin. That's Texposed. That's the style of Texas rigging where the hook's still partially exposed. But with that little recess in the body like that, that's gonna help hide that hook a little bit, and then it's still gonna lead to a really high hookup ratio without actually tearing your plastic from putting your hook point back in there. So you're gonna get a few extra fish per plastic. And if you look real closely, you're gonna see little dots on the plastics where it actually shows you to put your hook point in and bring your hook point out to get that plastic rigged on that hook perfectly. Now, if you'll notice on the Headbanger rocker head, you're gonna notice this is a patented hook that Headbanger did with a slight little boxing effect right there on the back of that EWG. What that's also gonna do is allow your bait to just sit in there and hang in there a little bit better, to where when you do hide that hook point, it's like the best of both worlds. Your bait's gonna ride really nice in there, and it's gonna be recessed into that little cavity right there on the back. Now, outside of rigging it on the rocker head like they were designed to do, I find like the BangerBug to be a really great flipping plastic. You can see it's got that cavity in there. There's so much subtle movement. At any speed you wanna move this bait, you're getting a ton of action. So I find that BangerBug is really nice in difficult conditions. If I'm looking for that bigger bite, I'm probably gonna throw the Craw. I think the Craw has more displacement, which is gonna help you get that bigger fish. Like I said, you can already rig it on the back of a jig. It makes a phenomenal jig trailer. On a chatterbait, you're slow rolling it on the bottom, great option. I also rigged the BangerBug sideways on a chatterbait, which gives it that really nice bluegill profile. I've also done the same thing with the Lizard, but I really like to drag that Lizard. So where if I'm flipping a chatterbait trailer, trying to mimic a bluegill, that BangerBug's a great choice for me. If I'm dragging the bottom, I really like the Lizard a lot. If I'm flipping heavier stuff or the water stained, or I'm looking for a little bit bigger of a bite or looking to match up a good jig trailer, that crawdad's typically gonna be my choice. Guys, whether you own a rocker head or not, you need to get your hands on these new Headbanger plastics. You're gonna freaking love them. I've been putting a heck of a lot of fish in the boat. I'm Nick, the Informative Fisherman, guys. Thanks for watching. Visit headbangerlures.com.